Good evening, everyone. We will now begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for blessings and protection received while participating in the construction of paradise on earth. Please stand for the Amatsu-Norito, the prayer of heaven, followed by the Miroku prayer. Taka amahara ni kamuzumarimasu. Kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto mochite. Sumemi oya kamu izanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no himuka no tachihana no. Odo no ahagi harani. Misogi hara itamo toki ni narimaseru. Haraido no kami tachi. Moro moro no magaboto tsumi kegareo. Harai tamae kiyome tamae tomao sukoto no yoshio. Amatsu kami kunitsu kami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomoni. Ame no fuchi koma no mimi kuri tatete. Kikoshi mese to kashi komi mo maosu. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Kam nagara tamachi hae mase. Kam nagara tamachi hae mase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light. a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated for group Johrei. May God and Meishu-sama bless you. Teaching today is entitled Good and Evil. It's from Daily Inspirations, page 72. No matter how virtuous an act may seem, if done by one with little faith in God, most probably the motive is self-centered. A person who draws close and whispers words secretly of others is surely someone who cannot be trusted. Those who do what is right always with clear minds and cheerful hearts leave no room, not even the slightest crack, through which the dark forces can take hold. In order to prevent crimes, laws and regulations have been formed. Police departments, courts, and prisons have been set up, and every effort has been made by authorities to curtail crimes. This is the same as building a cage for dangerous wild animals and enclosing them with an iron fence in order to prevent them from harming people. In other words, criminals are treated not as human beings, but as dangerous wild beasts. What a pity it is that those who were born to be precious human beings should degrade themselves to the point of becoming like beasts and ending their lives as such. It is an eternal truth that human beings exist somewhere between the divine and the animals and can lower themselves to the level of beasts, just as they can elevate themselves to godliness. Truly civilized people are those who have freed themselves from their lower, baser nature. The progress of civilization depends on the elevation of human beings from the level of vice to the level of virtue. Paradise on earth is a place where only individuals who have reached such a level reside. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining this evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters. This evening, I would like to share the faith experience of Paloma Sola Rodriguez. She's from the Balneário Camboriú Johrei Center in Santa Catarina, Brazil. Paloma is married and has three daughters, ages 8 and 3, and a baby girl who was born on February 2020. They are all Johrei members, and she gives service, recording and editing faith experiences at her Johrei Center. At the beginning of social isolation, the conflicts between her children were very intense, and as in addition to the complex quarantine scenario, they were adapting to the arrival of the newborn. Her children competed for everything: toys, the parents' attention, TV, and so on. These were challenging times. In order to try to maintain harmony in her home, the parents began to increasingly engage them into the household chores and our practice of faith. They explained to the children the feelings of gratitude with which they should carry out the chores and our practice of faith. They watch our daily online services, practice Johrei, and read the divine writings with the scheduled times, and weekly perform the mitamamigaki, which is the dedication to cleaning our surroundings as a soul polishing. They make floral arrangements to purify the spiritual atmosphere of their home and distribute them to their neighbors. In addition, Paloma sought to encourage her daughters to practice serving the family members. When her husband was working from home, she would call the children to prepare a nice tray with water, coffee, and flowers to take to their father during meetings and online sessions. In this way, the conflicts, which were quite intense in the first weeks of the quarantine, were reduced, and today they play and have fun without getting into friction.
The two started to cooperate more with the organization of their home, and the competition now is who is going to serve water for mom and dad. Paloma is very grateful to God and Meishu-sama, excuse me, for having Johrei in the divine writings as a reference and a path for the spiritual education of her daughters and the formation of a paradise-like home. Very nice experience from Paloma. And another experience I want to share with you is from Rafael Ramos Bueno. He's from the Marília Johrei Center, São Paulo, Brazil. Rafael is 30 years old and has been a Johrei member for 3 years. He was guided by his wife. However, although he had become a member, he did not give service and hardly attended the Johrei Center. November 2019, he was fired from his job and became worried because he needed to provide for his home. As time went by, his situation got worse, as unemployment insurance was half of his previous salary, and financial commitments began to pile up. In January 2020, he got a job at a company that sold credit card machines. He strictly followed the company's hours and rules, had a lot of willpower, but sales didn't take place. A month later, very saddened by the situation and afraid of being laid off again because he wasn't producing, he went to seek guidance from the church. He spoke with an assistant minister who explained to him the law of the spiritual preceding the physical and the strata of the spiritual realm, and that purifications occur because we have spiritual clouds that need to be removed. Rafael received the guidance to participate in the monthly services, to practice Johrei daily, to read the teachings of Meishu-sama, and to serve in the construction of paradise on earth by offering monetary donations of gratitude. He began to practice the guidance received and made a firm decision to offer a daily and monthly donation. Within days, sales began to occur naturally. He felt a deep gratitude and understood the meaning of the law of spiritual preceding the physical. He realized that he was just wanting to harvest the fruits without worrying about planting the seeds. Even so, he was still worried about his financial situation as he had used the entire limits on his credit cards. In April 2020, he found out about a job opening at a great company in the tool business. He did an interview, but he didn't create expectations as he was competing with people who had years of experience in the area, and he in turn didn't have any knowledge whatsoever. The next day, the surprise came. The owner of the company called him, saying he was willing to give him a position above what was offered. Rafael was flabbergasted. He went to talk to his present boss and told him about the job offer he had received, and his boss was happy for Rafael. He's currently working at this company, and his financial situation is now under control. With this experience, he strengthened his faith in God and became aware of the importance of dedication and the feeling of gratitude to build a more favorable future. Raphael is very thankful to God and Meishu-sama for the permission to serve as an instrument of the divine work, for his wife, who has always been by his side, and the missionary who assisted and showed the path for Raphael to follow. Wonderful experience from Rafael as well. Thank you very much for attending this evening service. I wish you a very wonderful evening, wonderful week. And with this concludes our evening service. Thank you very much.